Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Hammer Podcast. Today is October 4th, 2021, and I'm speaking with Robert. Now, today it's not any type of boarding school or anything like that. We're talking about a sex pervert for Jesus. His name is Paul Pawlak. And if you haven't seen the last video, check it out. I did a interview with the bass player who was there with Three. If you don't know who Three is, go check out the other video. I'll also leave a link in the description as well. All right. So, Robert, let's start from the beginning.
Yeah, I'm here, man.
All right. What year do you think this was?
Okay.
When this happened? When you were there?
All right. Let's go back, man. I'm in my mid-30s now. I had to been at least 12, maybe 13 years old, possibly. You know what I mean? Pre-teen, just a teen, somewhere around there. I was pretty young, man. I was a young kid. Lived in the neighborhood, you know what I mean? Running around all that neighborhood at the time. He lived on Topeka. I lived on Longview, which is 2 blocks away. And like me and a lot of friends would hang out at a swimming pool at a local apartment complex called Regency Square. I think they changed the name since then, but
yes,
like we all, we
I know where that is.
We all go swimming there and stuff like that. Well, all right. Well,
I used to live there.
Of mine, right?
I used to live there at Regency Square.
Okay. Well, yeah. I was one of those punk kids running around that place. That was me, man.
Well, that was
all up in the pool. They didn't have no business.
Go ahead.
But yeah, man. So Regency Square Apartments, man, right there off Alameda. You know, there was the Conoco. The Conoco at the time that was right next door and all that good stuff. You know. And well, I had a buddy of mine, and he was like interested in music and stuff like that. And at that time, there was a real like kind of music movement coming up from the South and this and that. It seemed like, you know, it was coming out of Houston a lot and stuff. And everybody's trying to rap and do this and that. And I was kind of following the scene, I guess. And I felt like I had a little artistry in me, right? Let's say that. Well, my friend tells me he has a friend, you know, this guy that has a house that he has studio equipment and this and whatnot, but he's a Christian guy, you know what I mean? And he likes Christian music, had a rock band, and he actually has a channel on TV, does a little public access show or something, whatever, right?
Yeah.
And this and that public access show is like older though, you know what I mean? It was like backdated, but they still run it sometimes. Okay. Anyway, get down to business where he ends up introducing me to this guy. He's like, yeah, well, he smokes weed and stuff, you know, he's all right, you know, he's a Christian, you know, but he smokes weed and stuff. It's all right. We go over there, we can smoke, you know, you can check it out, check out the studio, we do all this good stuff, right? I'm like, all right, bro, yeah, let's go, man, let's go. That sounds good. Let's check it out. Because I mean, shit, I'm a broke ass little Mexican running around the neighborhood. I ain't got nowhere to go to no studio. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, let's go, man. So finally, you know, eventually he brings me to this dude's house, right? And it's 2 blocks away from where I live. I'm like, oh shit, this is cool. You know, like this guy's right here. Like, and then you see the house though, and from outside it doesn't look like much except from like over the fence. Over the back fence, you saw all kinds of like crazy colors and shit, and you hear all these dogs and shit, right? But outside, the only other thing you'd see was like it was a little dark looking, honestly. There was like a hedgerow that kind of went around the front entrance, but there was cameras all around the house. There was like super cameras around his house. You know what I mean?
And louvered
I mean,
blinds.
later on, once I get to know him and stuff. Oh yeah.
Louvered
blinds. Yeah, no
blinds.
doubt about it.
Go ahead.
Now, later on down the road, I think it's cool as shit, you know, because, you know, cameras and shit, you know, seeing the house. But now comes, you know, hindsight, I think we know what the fuckery is. But anyways, okay, getting back to, you know, on the road run, you know, I get to meet this guy, right? This guy, Paul, right? And he's kind of this oddball dude. You know, I never met nobody like him, you know what I'm saying? As a kid, he seemed like he wasn't from around here. He had like this weird artistry. I will say now flamboyant kind of vibe, you know what I mean? But I didn't think nothing of it at the time, you know what I'm saying? Like, this guy's into music, you know, it's different. He's not into the kind of dumb shit I'm into, you know?
Okay.
And so he gets, the next thing you know, he gets on with the whole, like, Christian shtick, you know what I mean? And I mean, that's all good stuff, whatever. If that's what you're about, that's good stuff, you know?
Yeah.
But he's coming at me with it and everything. I'm like, all right, cool, whatever. And me, I'm just trying to, you know what I'm saying, like, fake it to make it so I could get in his studio.
Right.
You know what I mean? I want to play with your toys, bro. You know? So anyways, me and my buddy are there. And, you know, I mean, we end up being pretty cool. You know what I'm saying? I let him know that I live down the road, this and that, and everything seems cool, right? And I didn't go over there by myself for a while because that's just not, like, you know, the thing to do. I mean, it probably would have been okay with him, obviously.
Yeah. Right.
But it didn't start off that way. You know what I mean? Okay. Later on down the road, you know, I'm hanging out with my bud and stuff like that, right? More, we going over there and stuff, and he ends up, you know, like, look, man, you need to come to church with us and this and that, you know, and everything. I'm like, you know what, man? All right, I'll go with you, man. I'm not tripping. I'll go, right? So start coming over more, like, it was more of like a Sunday thing, right? But me, I'm trying to get there and like mess with like the keyboard or like trying to get into some like music studio files or something before we go to church. You know what I mean? But he wasn't really having that. He wasn't really letting nobody near that computer much. And I'll get more into that in a minute.
I wonder why.
I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling you. I mean, look, I'm a kid. I didn't think nothing of all this, but I'm telling you, it's a long story, a little bit of a long road. You know what I mean? To get to where everything's at now. And I know you understand it.
Well, we have an hour, so go ahead.
Okay. Well, so this is what happens. We end up going through Sundays and stuff, kind of a weekly thing, woo-de-woo, right? And my parents weren't really ever much into like, where are you going? What are you doing? Who are you with? They were never really like that. You know what I'm saying? My parents kind of just like put their foot up my ass and got me out the door.
Okay.
So like me going to Paul's wasn't really nothing, you know what I mean? Or doing anything like that. Like that wasn't a big thing. So it starts off with church and stuff like that. And then I'm like, look, man, you know, I want to try making music, this and that, this and that. And he comes out with this PRP Productions thing.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm like, oh, wow. So you're really going to make a label and then right? And me, you know, I again say, being an idiot kid, I'm over here trying to chase this fucking dream, right? So he's like, yeah, whatever. I'm like, oh, all right, man. Well, he ends up like kind of teaching me little things about music, right? You know, this and that. I come over more and more, and now I'm coming over more often. You know what I mean? When JD's there and stuff like that. And
yeah.
Then after that, ends up coming to like more people being there. There's more groups, right? More and more like groups, and there's never any girls around. I'll get at that. Like there's never any girls around. Like it doesn't, like there's never any girls around, right? Like it's always groups of like young dudes.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's like was the whole church thing, and that's kind of where I thought it was like cool, you know what I mean? Like it was not just me, not just my friend. There was actually other people that would come over sometimes and stuff too, and it seemed like all right. And then not just that, like I smoked real heavy, right? So like he smoked, and it's like he would have these little parties too, and it didn't seem like any big deal. Like I can't express it enough. Never seemed like any big deal. I mean, the whole church thing went over, and then next you know, he's like taking me with him to do like these little events and stuff, right? Because now we've like actually, I'll say, spent more time together. I'll put it like that, right?
Okay.
So now he's taking me to do these like little events and stuff like that because I'm right down the road, you know what I mean? And like these higher class functions, okay, like I've never even been inside houses like this. You know what I'm saying? Like, and these people have him doing like design, like how could I put it? Like displays and shit, like setting up like shit for marriages and just shit like that, like right, decorations and shit that you would make.
Yeah, company parties and that kind of stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. That's a better, yeah. Like, and he would make this shit, right? And he'd do displays for companies and stuff. Like, there's a specific not a doctor's office, a dentist's office that's directly behind his house. Okay. And I want to say it's like General Dentistry or something. I don't know. I don't remember the name, but that sign, I helped him make that sign. Okay. Like in the back garage. Okay. And he was obsessed with this little like emblem that he'd make that looked like an S. If anybody knows Paul Pawlak and knows the little, when he went into his little design work shit, and they'll see that little S, he put it on fucking everything. I don't know why. Okay. And his like crazy colors, his whole little cut and paste work he would do. Because that's really what it was. Like, he just find shit and then he cut pieces off of it and put it together, and then, you know, he fabricated his own little deals. And there was another company he did called, I used to call it, I didn't know how to say it right, and he corrected me. You know what I mean? It was called Slumburger, right? But he's like, no, it's Slumberger. Slumberger. So I helped him make this display for like pamphlets and all this shit inside the Slumberger building out there towards, I think it's Annabelle or some kind of shit like that.
Okay.
So I'm a kid helping him do all this shit, right? Sticking around him, all this shit, all these people around, but yet I live 2 blocks away, so I'd always be able to go home most of the time. You know what I mean? Like, I just take off. But there's other people that still be around there, right? So I'm there. I've been around it probably maybe a year already, something like that. Everything's real cool. We've done party together and all this shit. And I never think it's odd that this old motherfucker's partying with a bunch of kids in his back fucking garage, okay? And you know what I'm saying? Like, it's, I mean, it's weird as fuck to anybody now. It's being grown, you know what I mean? But back then, it's like, fuck yeah, let's go party at Paul's, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Him, he was like, oh yeah, come on, little boys, let's party. Anyway, so we're all cool and shit. I'd go jog with him and shit, right? Like, I was a little fit fucker back then, and, you know, we fucking run everywhere, all the way down to the fucking Ocean Drive and back and all kinds of shit. And that motherfucker could run, dog. Like, for real, for real. All right. He put on his little fucking, Daisy Duke shorts and shit and all that, and he'd take the fuck off with his curly ass hair flying back. You know what I'm saying?
It's Daisy
that
Duke
motherfucker
shorts.
was gone. Hey, I ain't bullshitting, man. Them hoes would be purple, pink, green. It didn't matter as long as it was neon. Like, he was still stuck in the 80s, dog.
Yeah.
But, okay. So, yeah, I mean, I fucking work out with him and shit. You know what I mean? Like, all this shit. Like, I ended up staying nights at his house after a while and all kinds of shit, and going doing little events and church and all this shit, right? And thinking of fundraisers and shit, dude, and like, there's so much with this guy, right? I'm around this guy, like, I was around him a lot, you know what I mean? But I never got to think about everything that was going on, right? And like, how he never really wanted me to fuck with his computer, you know what I mean? Because like, I always wanted to learn these programs, how to record, how to do this. He taught me how to play drums, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, it was awesome, you know? He taught me how to fucking play drums, and I still love drums, and I beat on everything to this fucking day and annoy the shit out of everybody. But he taught me that, you know what I'm saying? He taught me how to work certain little musical components and whatnot, right? He taught me how to surf, dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He taught me how to surf alongside the little boy that he basically damn near adopted and was living with him. Okay?
I do remember.
So for the people that know Paul.
Yeah. I do remember a kid living with him. I remember that.
Yes, he had this little boy, bro. And I think that's probably like the main situation of everything that he probably had. Because Paul had a friend before. Another Mexican kid, I guess, ended up getting sent to the pen. Like it seems we all do, goddammit. But he got sent to the pen. And Paul still knew his family. And see, this shit gets deep-seated, bro. When you start thinking about this shit and diving deep with this motherfucker, like, he was a mastermind, bro. He was a mastermind. It's sick and fucking evil. But, okay, he knew this dude. He gets sent to the pen. He knows his family. His mom's on dope, right? He knows she's out here living, like, off a leopard and shit. And he says, you know what? The little boy, I'll help you. I'll help you with the little boy. I'll buy him clothes. I'll take him to school. He can stay with me. Yeah. And she let him. You know what I mean? Now, I'm not trying to say nothing about the mom. Hey, shit happens, whatever. Maybe she was looking for somebody thinking, you know, I mean, everybody sees good in people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But obviously very, 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 very bad things happen. You know what I'm saying? But I'm talking about, like, I was there beside this boy. I was there beside some of these other guys that were there from back then. You know what I mean? At least one or two of them. I'm like positive. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I remember specifically, right? Like all these times, I remember Paul's dogs, bro. Like, I don't know if you met his dogs or anything, but he ended up breeding like a family of Dalmatians, like the 101 Dalmatians. The male was named Pongo. Okay.
Okay.
And like these Dalmatians were on the cool kind of fucking mean. Like they weren't even like cool dogs, but he had puppies and everything, and people buy them from him and shit. But that was like in his little, all right. When you get to his house, you walk in, right? The front door. As soon as you walk in, you're in like the living area. Okay. You look to the right and there was like a wraparound couch. And then right in front of you was a drum set. And that's the drum set I learned on. And you keep walking to the right and through the little doorway, and that's the kitchen. And we'll get to the kitchen. But then, but if you turn left from the entrance, then the first room is his bedroom. Then the second room was his workout room. And then the third room was the studio. And right across from the workout room in the hallway was the bathroom. Okay?
Okay.
But behind that, then there's like this section that went to the garage that you got through the kitchen. And that's where he kept all those fucking dogs, all the Dalmatians. They were all Dalmatians. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And I want to say there was at least 6 or 8. At least. Okay? Yeah, no, I'm not bullshitting. Like, he had the whole fucking family. And then, like, I even mowed the grass back there, helped him pick up dog shit, all kinds of shit. I'm telling you, like, I was there, dude. You know what I mean? I was there. I didn't have a fucking role model. I was stuck around that fuck. So, go through the dogs and you get to the garage. And the garage was like a whole nother work area where he made a bunch of his shit, all this little displays and all kinds of shit, right? This little wall with the fucking CDs and shit. Like, he'd use CDs to make those walls, the little flashy walls and shit. You know what I mean? Like disco looking shit.
Yeah.
He would do that. He'd always use this shit called foam core. He'd do all his designs on that foam core shit, like as mock-ups and all kinds of shit. I mean, he even made posters for me and put them on that foam core shit, which now is probably some sick shit. But back then, I thought it was really fucking cool. I mean, he had that shit hung up back there. You know what I mean? Hey, this dude, look, and you think about it like this, too. This motherfucker had a row of lockers back there. Okay? And I had one locker full of my shit. I'm talking about I had Hot Wheels and shit in that motherfucker. I was so young. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what the fuck I was. Man, I'd hide shit in there. I'd hide weed in that motherfucker and all kinds of shit. I mean, it was just weird, man. But, like I said, mind this. Every time I'd be there, it'd either be me, the little boy that was there, or other males. You know what I'm saying? Like other guys, other like teenagers and shit, right? And
right.
There's one that was sticking around a lot. That was my friend. He was there for a while, and the next thing you know, like after a while, he ended up taking off somewhere else. I think to Houston or something. Like, but he got real like Christian, like Christian, like more than Paul Christian. You know? Okay. And he split. And after that, like, I really never heard of him again. You know what I mean? And me, I ended up getting a bunch of shit myself later on. But let's get back to Paul and his fucking house. Okay. So he would never let me get to that computer. All right. And that was always fishy to me. It was a little frustrating because I want to make music and shit. But now I got, like, no matter what, now I got to wait on this motherfucker to run that fucking program and shit for the computer. I put stickers all over his fucking keyboard and shit that he had there, right? He had this one keyboard that sat, like, in the kitchen, so to speak. Like, in between the hallway to the kitchen and the main hallway. And I put stickers, like, he had 3 stickers, his old 3-band stickers everywhere. And I used that shit and put those everywhere. I put them all over stop signs and all kinds of shit. I didn't even know shit about 3. Other than seeing that fucker on the damn Channel 3 thing looking old as shit with his glasses and his crazy ass fucking hair and shit. Dude. But see, like, I never, like, to me, he always seemed like this just abstract dude. You know what I mean? And me, I'm trying to think abstract type shit, you know, kind of music shit, trying to hang out somewhere and, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it didn't seem weird to me the way this guy was. It didn't seem weird to me staying nights at this dude's house, sleeping in his weight room or sleeping on his couch. Or, dude, I showered in this guy's house. He might have had hidden cameras in that motherfucker and have like my fucking 12, 13-year-old thing swinging and banging. You know what I'm saying? For all I know. Shit.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, in all honesty, you know what I mean? Because he was obviously a really sick dude, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's get down to some crazy shit, right? Like, if anybody knows anything about Paul or his case, they know the main thing he kind of used to get people in the positions they were in with him. All right. First, he would use the Christianity, right? And then second, he would offer them something to drink. Okay.
Yeah. He also
now
had
that drink. It was like his favorite.
He also had kids.
I'm listening.
He would have kids mow his lawn. I remember when I was there, early 90s.
I mowed his lawn, fucking shit.
Right. He would have, I would come over and he would have a kid mowing his lawn. Okay. So he had kids mowing his lawn, and what he would do is basically, the hot South Texas summers, he'd, hey, you want
I'm telling you, hey,
you want something to drink?
He knew what he was doing.
Yep.
He knew what he was doing. This was already like this pre-planned shit. And I'll get more into like what I really think about this and like probably his earlier life before any of us met him in Texas. Like I think there's probably more of that going on somewhere else, honestly.
Oh, I'm sure.
But okay, the drink, right? One thing I hate in the world, and I tell people I'm allergic to it, is coconut. I hate coconut. I hate the smell. I hate the taste. I hate the consistency. I do not like it whatsoever. But he always had these damn coconut sorbets. Okay? Yeah. For anybody that remembers these things, they were this glass container with a lizard on it, and it was like super 90s, early 2000s, like graphics. You know what I mean? It was like the shit back then. So
oh, yeah, definitely.
Extreme. You know what I mean? Right?
Yeah, I do.
But he had like a stock of them. Like his fridge, he would have at least 10, 12 at a time. And he'd offer it to me a lot, but I didn't like that shit, right? But like everybody would drink these fucking things. And sometimes he would get mad. Okay? Because you got people all high off fucked up coconut sorbet and they drink this shit. You'd be like, what the fuck? Okay? And he always, yeah, like I'm telling you. And I just thought it was one of his oddball things. Like one of his things I remember mentioning in one of your podcasts was about the garlic. This motherfucker and his garlic. Now, that was some nasty shit, bro. Like, he kept on with that shit. Okay? This motherfucker ended up doing some shit with potatoes, too. I don't know if you know about that, where he put pieces of potato in his fucking socks. Okay? He showed them to me, and they were black when he was done.
Oh, yuck.
Yeah. Okay? Like, he was always on some weird shit. You know what I'm saying? The cigarettes he smoked were weird. All right? They were this black pack of cigarettes, and it wasn't tobacco. Okay? It was some other shit, and you could only buy them at certain places, and they're like the jarums or some shit like that. All right? And they smelled different. Them motherfuckers would pop when you smoke them. And I was like, that's fucking weird, bro. Like, what the fuck? I don't know. Maybe that motherfucker put something in that shit. I don't know. That shit was weird as fuck. Right? Probably. So, I mean, he always had, like, this weird shit going on with him. Like, he was always doing weird shit. But I knew he was from New York. So, like, and he had told me he went to, like, art school or some shit.
Yeah.
And, like, so I just figured maybe this motherfucker's different. He's not from around here. You know what I mean? Like, he's not from around here. This motherfucker's different. And one time, I think I picked up his phone or some shit. I don't know what the fuck happened. But I ended up talking to his mom. All right? For, like, a couple of minutes.
Okay.
And maybe she was tripping out, like, who the fuck is this motherfucker answering his phone? Like, oh shit, what did my son do again?
Well, he went to several states.
Shit, but
he went to several states before he went to Texas, so he probably got kicked out of there. But yeah, he was
who knows, bro? On who?
Yeah, it was originally Buffalo, New York.
Buffalo. That's where his Yeah, that's exactly.
Where he, born and raised.
See, he's always said he had a girlfriend, but his girlfriend like never came around. I met somebody that was a bandmate of his that lived down the street and across the street from him, but I don't think he talked to him much, and now I think I know why. I mean, dude, there's just so much about that fucking house. Like when you walk into that house, it's all colored all crazy. Like the walls are purple and blue and green and pink and shit. And he had like, I want to say it was like, you know, those stones you put on the bottom of a fish tank, like those like pearlescent ones, kind of.
Yeah.
I think it was those. He had glued all over his shower and shit. Probably a little camera lens behind one of them motherfuckers.
And you know what's funny is his house always smelled like cologne. And I know he used Eternity.
Hey, until you get to the kitchen.
Right.
The kitchen never smelled like that. The kitchen always stunk, dude. Bad.
I know he used Eternity cologne. That's what he used. I remember.
Yeah, Calvin Klein.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And he would drive around in that, it was like a little black truck. I want to say it's a Mazda B2200, dude. But it was a little standard fucker.
Uh-huh.
Know what I mean? And he just whip around in that thing everywhere. But he couldn't drive it for shit. He drives slow as shit everywhere, like it was the best truck in the world, when it was just like a total trash little fucker. He tried to keep it all clean and shit, but it was always full of shit. There was so many, like, dude, so much shit in that truck. And it was a 2-seater truck. You know what I mean? But then, like, if you're gonna sit down, you have to like move everything. And he'd have Bibles and shit and pamphlets and all kinds of shit, dude, all up in that motherfucker like that. That's what he do. He pull up on people and try to invite them to like Christian shit.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yep.
Hey.
Well, we can honestly say that he didn't have any rubbers in there.
Fuck that. Hey, man. It's just so crazy, man. And then to find out once everything came down to it, of course, the first thing they're taking is that fucking computer. And that's the one thing, of course, you wouldn't let nobody near it. And I don't think back then there was too much of that, all that security protocol shit. Like, that was like AOL days. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. That was way before the real internet. That was AOL and net.
You know, you'd have to wait like 5-10 minutes before you could even fucking do anything on that motherfucker. It'd give you a whole little doubts on this shit.
Cool.
Fucking Paul, man. And so now what he's already had how many parole hearings?
He has had,
because he's in the pen now. He's in the pen now. They gave him how many did they give him total? Because you told me that they stacked it concurrent. They didn't even they didn't stack it. They ran it concurrent. He's doing all his time together, which I think is total bullshit. I don't wish anybody in jail, bro. Prison is hell. Okay, I don't wish anybody in jail. But people that hurt kids and do that kind of shit deserve to be in places like that. That's the type of people that need to be there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And when they give people like that breaks, I feel like, man, come on now.
Yeah.
My bad. But how many years did they give him complete?
Well,
altogether?
For the people that are watching, let me go ahead before I tell you that. Let me run through the charges, okay? He had possession of child porn. He had three counts. And 4 counts of sexual assault of a child and 1 attempted sexual assault of a child. And they altogether 55 years. So, but like you said, they ran it concurrently. So now the highest sentence was 14 years. That was the highest one. So basically
14 fucking years.
So obviously they stacked them all, and he's only doing 14. Now, like you said, he did get a parole, but and I'm going to put it on the screen for everyone to see. It was denied, and this was on May 17th, 2021. It was denied, and it said the record indicates the instant offense has elements of brutality, violence, assaultive behavior, or conscious selection of victims' vulnerability, indicating a conscious disregard for the lives, safety, or property of others, such that the offender poses a continuing threat to public safety. So basically, what he did to those kids was brutal and violent. That's why they didn't give him the parole.
It's horrible.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
So, I'm sorry. The last parole he had was 7/13 of 2017. He has another one coming up in 2021. So, but it's
coming up real soon, isn't it?
Yeah. It says, the maximum sentence will be 7/13/2024. That's when he gets out, when he's done his time. So, that's
such bullshit, man.
Yeah. It says,
It's people like that deserve a life sentence because they ruin people's lives, literally.
Right.
Intentionally, without any regard whatsoever. Like, these kids are fucked now. You know what I'm saying? Like, no matter how good they're able to operate, within society, no matter what, that is there. He did that to them.
Yeah. The next parole hearing will be 5 of 2022. So, but I'm pretty sure he's probably
going to wrap right there.
I'm pretty sure he's going to be denied that one too. He's probably going to end up serving all 14 years. The problem is, once he gets out, where's he going to go? I mean, they already want his head.
Where's he going to go?
They want his head in Corpus. I'm sure the families down there haven't forgotten. And when if they see him, they're going to...
Didn't he get jumped?
He got jumped several times, yes. Yeah.
Assuming it might have had something to do with these prior incidences.
Right. And he always went after the Mexican kids. I don't know why. He probably liked the Mexican kids better. I don't know.
He likes that golden brown skin.
So,
Jesus, man. But no joking, man. It's horrible.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got a few more years to do. You know what I mean? He's somewhere like North Texas, I think, because I had looked at it a little bit. I don't know what unit that's at. But I'm almost sure it's probably some type of like pedophile program or something there. You know what I mean? But the way Texas prisons have gotten, like, it's nothing for people like that to fly free all through prisons. It's so simple for them. Yeah, they might get some shit, but a lot of time it's so easy because they got like programs for them and they're protected now. It's like hate crimes when shit happens to them now.
Well, I remember he was in the Cofield unit near Huntsville. But it says here his current facility is Powlak.
Yeah.
So, they're probably moving him from facility to facility. That way nobody kills him,
Exactly. Because it can get really bad, man.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's a G5 unit. If I'm correct. I think it is. Because what a G5 unit is basically a lockdown unit where they either keep, like, confirmed gang members or people that are, like, protective custody and shit like that. So they have limited, interaction and, all that shit. And I think that's probably what it is, man. You're probably making him run some type of fucking program before he gets out. He's probably going to have to run a program for a while because that motherfucker's going to have to register as soon as he gets out, too.
Oh, it's going to be lifelong registry. There ain't no way they're going to just...
Lifelong registration. Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Definitely.
I mean, but look, I don't know if you remember, but they used to make people put signs in their front yard. I don't know if he's like one of those candidates. And I think he should be, because he literally lured children in intentionally.
Oh, yeah. And I'm sure there are kids out there that the statute of limitations ran out, so they couldn't do anything about it. I'm sure there's a lot of kids out there that it happened to.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. I'm positive, man. I'm positive there's so many priors to this, man. I'm positive. And especially just seeing, like, the type of person Paul is, like, he was a very hidden individual, you know what I mean? And to think about all the different places he's been and what he could have done and how many lives he could have affected, I'm thankful he didn't affect me in the negative way. Like, he talked to my parents and all that stuff. Maybe I was just too much of a crazy little kid, running around with, like, broken shotguns in my pants and shit. No, it was something else,
Yeah.
But he was able to touch so many lives. Like, he had such a big reach on the city, man. It was crazy how many people he knew. You know what I mean? And he's not even from here.
Yeah.
You understand? Like, he knew so many, like, wealthy people, like, people of influence here in the city. And, like, even, like I said, like, you know, he had that little public show back then and stuff. Like, he was known around Corpus Christi. Like, everybody fucking knew this guy.
Oh, yeah.
It was such a clean cover-up. Like, and for him to have all these teenagers at his house for church gatherings was nothing. But really, it was some fuck shit.
You know what's funny is there's a website out there, and I'll leave it on the link below, but it's called Cross Rhythms. And they did a...
Cross Rhythm.
Yes, they did
Is that the UK?
Yes, they did an interview with Paul. But the thing is, what's funny about it is that it's still up. His interview and his picture with the band members is still there. They never took it down.
He loved that article. Like, that was like his pride and joy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he thought he was famous.
Yep, crossrhythms.co.uk.
If we're talking about the same thing, was that the one where they did like the whole Christian band thing at first?
Yeah, that's the one.
It was like really old though.
Oh yeah. This was done probably in the mid-90s, but the page is still there.
Yeah, like way before I knew him. I didn't even know him when he did that.
Yeah.
I think he even had like little magazines and shit put up.
Well, you know, he had. Well, what's funny about it is like you said, he was very eccentric, always really weird, you know, and
he was.
When he named the albums, one of them was called Liquid Sky, another one was called Violent Waves, and this one here, or Ultraviolet Waves, the one here was, I don't know if he was trying to tell people something, but the name of the album was called Bleeding Youth.
Bleeding Youth. Oh my God. That's horrible, bro.
Yeah, Bleeding Youth.
Oh my God. Yep. Oh my God. So, that's like not even a good pun.
Yeah, I don't even know if he was trying to tell people something or what, but yeah, but like you said,
like hidden innuendos, you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. But like you said, a lot of lives have been touched by this guy. Like I said, there's a lot of families out there that want his head. So he can't go back to Corpus.
It's just a question really of where he's going to go. Mm-hmm.
If he goes back to Corpus, he better just become a hobo or a bum and just live on the streets, because if they find out where he's at...
As long as he keeps his hair cut, he might be all right. You seen him in court? Hey, that shit's not there. If anybody listening to this starts looking up Paul Pawlak, it's like impossible to find any of this. You cannot find the video on his court. You can't find anything on the news. That is the weirdest shit ever to me. Okay? Why? That should be public information to the most. All right? But it's not there. But like I was saying, if you could find it, he has his hair cut.
Oh, it's on YouTube.
If he keeps his hair cut, nobody will recognize the motherfucker.
It's on YouTube. It's on YouTube. I put
there
it
you
on
go.
there.
Fucking YouTube.
Yeah, KIII TV. Yeah,
there you go. Fucking YouTube.
I put it on there. And it's still there, as far as I know.
That's night and day. That's night and day. Night and day. His hair was like his signature. You know what I mean? Them hiking boots and socks and Daisy Duke shorts. and a purple tank top.
Yeah, you know, he should have just come out and just said, you know what, I'm gay. You know, I mean,
look, you know, it's so much more acceptable that way. It's so much easier to respect the person that, hey, man, look, I'm gay, I'm homosexual, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
But to go and sit there and actually do things like that, like, man. Whether it's kids, adults, anybody, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just what's so crazy to me with Paul is, like I said, how he had everybody You know what I mean? The gay thing, I don't know. I was a kid. I didn't really understand all that yet. And that isn't, but the whole, like, you know, doing things to kids, man.
Yeah.
That's just, I can't, but I'm so close to this is what trips me out too. Like, I mean, I slept on the couch. I slept on the weight bench.
You were in the house. You were in the house where it happened, you know?
Literally, like I was there.
You were sleeping on the couch
like
where he was probably assaulting those kids. You know what I mean? That's how close you were to it.
Man, yeah. Who knows?
Well, I read the transcripts.
Who knows what them cameras had on it?
I read the transcripts. You know, one of them happened on the couch. I know that.
Well,
so. But they woke up
on that couch.
They woke up after drinking that Sobe drink, and basically.
All right. Sobe drinks.
Yes.
You remember what it looks like, right?
Oh yeah.
Dude, it's a thick white coconut drink. Okay.
Yeah.
And I think he would have them Xanax. He would put in it. He would crush up Xanax.
Yeah, it had to be something to make him pass out.
Yeah, but I'm telling you that it was thick and white. There's like, I mean, you wouldn't even be able to tell nothing was in there, man.
Yeah.
Stuff looked like fucking cum. That's probably why he liked it, man.
Probably.
For real. I mean, it was thick and white. Fuck that shit. That shit's gross.
But like I was saying,
probably saved my fucking life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, be that you don't like coconut. Yeah. Sure as hell did.
I'm serious, man.
You're lucky it wasn't like raspberry or something like that.
It would have been over, bro. It would have been over. That would have been a wrap. You know what I'm saying? That would have been a wrap. Paul would have been dead. But anyway.
But yeah, he did. Like I said, I did read the transcripts, and when one kid woke up after drinking that stuff, basically Paul was already raping him. Paul was already in him.
In effect.
Yep.
Bro, in effect. What the fuck?
Yep, already going at it. Yep. So.
But see, that's how comfortable he was with this. You understand? He already had a procedure.
Yeah.
You see that? Like, he had a procedure he'd already go through. Like, this wasn't some random act. Like, this dude already like, oh yeah, I'm going to get him here. I'm going to get him to drink this. They're going to pass out. It's probably going to take maybe 5 minutes to 23 seconds, and then I'm going to be rubbing their balls. You know what I mean?
Well,
like
it was premeditated. Definitely, it was premeditated.
Exactly. There you go. I mean, that's exactly what I'm saying. Premeditated. Yes.
He knew what he was doing.
He had this worked out to a T.
Oh yeah.
But like how he like worked out, like masterminded, bro. This isn't like, I don't know. I say there's like typical child predators, right? Like the motherfuckers I watch on the internet all the time that they gonna catch, like shout outs to fucking all the predator catchers out there. You know what I'm saying? Y'all are fucking great. But like, you know, that kind of shit. Those are like the typical predators that go on these sites and try to meet these kids and shit. He wasn't like that. This dude was so far beyond that. He was in plain sight.
Yeah. And he was also using the guise of Christianity. You know?
Yes, he was using the church, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was, I mean, okay, he's a Christian. He's a good guy. Automatically, pretty much anybody in most society, how you doing? I'm a Christian. They're going to kind of look at you a certain way. Like, you're not one of these fucked up people out here, I guess you'd say, or at least in my perception. You know what I mean?
Right.
My personal opinion. You know what I mean? And, I mean, that's what it seems like. And he'd use that to his benefit, 100%. I mean, he took groups of us to fucking church, bro. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Like, but that's what that's what it was, man. That was him putting that line in the water. You know what I mean? And that's one of the worst things you could do is use somebody's faith and shit like that against them. And then what about the people that were really looking for the faith and they got affected by him, and now their faith is completely changed because of what he did?
Right.
What about that?
There's a lot of child predators out there that are Christians, and you know the thing is, when you hear about it, about let's say somebody from this church or this church did something to some, you know, little boy or little girl, does it really surprise you anymore?
It affects the whole church.
Right. But
see, that's a bad thing though. It seems like it's normal nowadays.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like but and it's almost accepted. Like people try to hide things for other people. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, a lot of cover-ups going on. But when, if I hear that somebody molested a child, and you're like, and you're kind of like in horror, like, oh my goodness, well, he was at this church. Oh, well, okay, well, not surprising anymore. I mean,
Yeah, it's not such a shock. There's no shock value in it.
It's not a shock anymore. It used to be.
Oh well, shit.
Yeah. Oh well, there you go.
Well, there you go. I'll tell you what.
Yeah. That's those church people. That's those church people for you. Always mess around.
It's horrible.
Kids,
It's horrible, man.
Yeah, it is. Like you said, there's no shock
value. And who knows what he's doing in there? Who knows what he's doing in there? He's probably trying to use that still to this day. Oh, please, God, and this and that. I bet you that's how he's making his way through prison.
No, probably.
I bet you he's over there singing praises and fucking doing all kinds of little shit, and you know what I mean?
Oh, I'm sure he's leading the choir in the prison church.
You understand? Like, I don't know, man. Fucking Paul Pawlak, man. Paul fucking Pawlak. I can't believe I ever met that dude and he affected my life so much. I'm so happy he didn't affect me in such a negative way. It just shocked me and how close I was to all these things he was doing.
Yeah.
Like, I can't believe I learned so much from this guy, and all this was going on behind the scenes. So, you know what I mean? I guess through the eyes of a young teenager, it's not what I could see. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's so crazy to understand what really happened, to that actually go back and look like, wow, this motherfucker was really doing this shit. Like, this little boy that would ride in the truck next to me was getting horribly, horribly touched by this man that was right next to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So were you ever able to get into his computer, or nothing came of that?
I got on the computer a couple of times, but like with him right there, you know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
Like, I never get to have free range. Like, let me open up this program. Let me try to get Fruit Loops going, or you know what I mean? Let me get this mixer open. Let me download this virtual DJ mixer. You know what I mean? So I could, because they had the whole Houston's Fruit and Chop thing going on back then that I was kind of into, and I like putting the two tracks on there and then slowing them down and then flipping it back and forth on the crossover and doing that whole kind of deal and stuff like that, right? Yeah. But he didn't want anybody like, he was so weary about that computer. Yeah. But now it's obvious,
Why?
Because he had all that on there, man. That's where he stored all his stuff.
All his child porn.
Man.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. It's so wild, man. It's so shocking, so eye-opening, you know what I mean? Especially now that I have children and stuff, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's breathtaking. Like, when I first seen everything, like, I had got to talking to my wife about it and stuff, and then next thing you know, we ran into what you had about him and stuff, and I was telling her things, right? Mm-hmm. And she's like, look, he's saying what you just said. I'm like, man, I'm telling you, I was in the middle of this. I was a kid. I knew this guy. He had told my parents he's going to take me to church, or like stuff like that. I'd go do drugs at his house. You know what I mean? Like, I stayed night. I showered at his house. Like, but he was sitting there molesting all these kids all this time. And I never even knew he was doing this until, because see, I ended up getting locked up for a while, going through juvenile, boot camp, TYC, and state jail and whatnot. I went through my whole run and shit. But I think it was whenever I got out of boot camp, possibly. I think it was boot camp or TYC. I'm not sure, because I did 2 years in TYC. Boot camp was 9 months. So maybe it was boot camp. And then my parents sat me down, okay? And they're like, look, we have to ask you something. And I'm like, what? You know what I mean? Like, that's a real awkward situation when your parents got to sit you down like that. And especially for somebody like me, where my parents really didn't give a shit where I went or what I did, right?
Right.
So I'm like, okay, well, what? And they're like, that guy Paul that you used to go over there, and this and that, and this and that. Well, he got caught having sex with a boy that he gave him drugs or something. And I was like, what? Like, whoa. Like, you're talking about Paul Pawlak, like, this motherfucker right here, like fucking Paul. And they're like, yeah, blah, 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 right? And his shit was still running on the fucking news. Okay?
Yeah.
So, like, I mean, it was all real, you know what I'm saying? And I don't even think he was in jail. Like, I think I had even seen him after that. And he was still living in that house at the time. That house is not the same anymore. That house is completely different. It's like a normal neighborhood house now. Before, it was like, and you think about it with all the colors and the crazy shit. I mean, of course, it's attractive. It's to attract kids.
Of course. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I mean, now it's a normal house and all that shit, you know.
But you didn't know that back then, though. That's the thing, you know. Now you see
no,
it.
Fuck no. I mean, I thought like it's abstract. You know what I mean? Like I was trying to think differently. You know what I mean? Like in a music sense. He's not from here. I'm from fucking South Texas, a bald-headed Mexican with tattoos. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And this dude's this crazy guy from up north that's artistic and into music, and he might possibly be interested in my platform, and you get what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was kind of thinking about that back then before I got into all the shit with going to jail and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's of course, like I said, I went about my way, and whenever I got back and to find out that Paul did this, and to, you know, find out everything and about, you know, my friend that took off and everything, and then the boy that was there with him, and like, it's crazy, man. It's just crazy. It's a fucking total anxiety attack. You know what I mean? Like, wow.
That you were just
to know this guy's getting out soon.
Yeah. I figured,
but yeah, that was so close. That I was in the middle. That I was in the middle of this circle, dude.
Yeah.
I don't know about all the other, you know, or who or whatnot, but I know two for a fact. You know what I'm saying? I was right there. You know what I mean? I was right fucking there, bro. I was right fucking there. I was sleeping in that fucking house. I showered in that fucking house. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You would think, being that it's, you know, South Texas, that they would have, you know, instead of running his sentences concurrently, they would have just said, you're going to do all 55 years. You sick.
That they would have stacked it.
Yeah.
That they would have stacked it. Exactly. But no, they ran it concurrent. It makes no sense to me. But that goes to show that if you got some money, hey, look, that dude always had money, bro. I mean, I know he had his little, he did a little thing with the signs and the displays and stuff, and that brought him money. He did it for companies and people with bread, you know?
Yeah.
But, like, he had money somewhere. Like, that house, he didn't pay rent on that house. I know that for a fact.
No, he bought.
You understand?
I remember. I remember when he bought the house. I think the house was selling for like $55,000 or something like that. So yeah, he
owned the house.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that was something I didn't know nothing about. Everybody rented their house where I'm from.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And I mean, dude, like, he just seemed like he always had money. You know what I'm saying? He didn't dress bad. He just dressed crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, the house was always, like, nice. It was always pretty much picked up and nice. The fucking kitchen always stunk. The dogs always stunk. It was kind of a mess in the back in the garage and shit, because that's, like, where all this junk and workspace and the whole little partying would go on. You know what I'm saying? I remember he would keep his weed in the bottom drawer of the fridge, and I would steal his weed sometimes. I mean,
hey, you're lucky he didn't lace that weed.
Hey, who you telling? Because that motherfucker wouldn't buy little bags. He'd get like an ounce or two, and you know what I mean? That's like how he would smoke. He'd have it sitting there. He didn't get like little nickels and dimes and shit. That motherfucker would have like a bag of weed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I heard
he would have beer.
Beer?
Yeah. Yeah, he'd have weed down there. He'd have a little beer and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? He'd have a shitload of them sorbets and shit. He always ate different too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He didn't eat like everybody else. He ate tuna a lot. He would eat tuna with nothing in it. Okay?
Yeah.
Like no mayonnaise, no nothing, like tuna straight out the can. He'd eat tuna like that. Y'all remember that shit?
And shitloads of garlic. Shitloads of garlic.
Garlic, bro. No, he'd have that garlic like all up in the kitchen. And it was something about it. Like, I don't know what the fuck, because he was always about some like peace and prosperity shit, whatever. Today, maybe it's feng shui. I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But back then, like, he was like always into like that different kind of shit. Me, like, I'm like, whatever, dude. I just want to get high and I want to make some music. You know what I'm saying? And he's like off on some other shit. But I mean, he did teach me how to surf. He took me surfing with that little boy and shit too. We go out, we surf. He taught me how to surf. I don't know what other fucking bald headed Mexican motherfucker knows how to surf out there, but I do. Paul Pawlak fucking taught me. You know what I'm saying? Real shit. Real shit. That motherfucker taught me how to surf, okay? Hey, he taught me how to play the drums, man, through like Red Hot Chili Peppers and shit like that. And I mean, that's just, you know, the little musical instinct in me, you know, that was some great shit. Fucking Paul Pawlak, man. That sorry motherfucker, dude. That I was, you know, I mean, at least that's how my life was affected, you know?
Yeah.
I just hope he hears this one day, that fucking sorry piece of shit. You deserve to stay in there, you motherfucker.
Yeah, he deserves
I hope I see you too, bitch. See my face. See my face. See my face. Scrappy. You remember that name. That was dumb as shit back then, but I hope you remember, bitch.
To tell you the truth, I don't think he's going to go back to Corpus. I don't think he's going to go back to Corpus.
I honestly don't think either. I don't even think they'd let him back. Because if he has a relative he's going to go to, he'll go there. But if not, they're going to send him to like a halfway house or a three-quarter house or something like that, where he's going to have to work his way out of that shit to where he could become like independently living. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's going to be bad because he's going to have to fucking find a situation where he's not anywhere close to kids.
And right now he's in his middle 50s. So, you know, when he gets out, he should be probably close to 60.
Hey, listen, prison preserves your ass. Shit.
Does it?
Oh yeah. Oh. Know what I mean? Trust me. If he's in there and he's not eating bad and all that kind of shit, and he's staying healthy and he's getting that TDC healthcare, which sucks too, but I mean they'll keep you alive, goddammit. They trying to fill that bed and make that money. It's a business now, remember?
Oh yeah. Definitely.
So I mean he's probably pretty healthy, you know what I'm saying? It only costs $100 a year for healthcare in there. You get all your medications, your doctor visits, whatever the fuck you need.
I wonder if they're giving him garlic in there too. I wonder.
That motherfucker might be sneaking that shit out the kitchen. It's PDC, remember? Who knows where he puts it though?
I'm sure he probably had to keister it.
That's what I'm talking about. He got him a good prison pocket.
the old prison purse, yep.
Hey, but check it out. I don't think he was the one that liked getting it in. He liked putting it in. He might have him some little fifi running around there. You know what I'm talking about?
He might.
He might. You never know. Money talks and bullshit walks, man. And there's a lot of broke motherfuckers that like drugs. It's prison.
They'll do anything for the drugs.
It's drugs, man. Hey, if you know anything about what's going on right now, it's that goddamn that legal shit, that fake marijuana shit.
Yeah.
The prison's full of it. It's full of it. So as long as he got him a good bag of that, he probably get him whatever he wants.
Getting all the ass he could ever want, huh?
Exactly. It's bad, man. It's bad. Anyway, Robert. I hope he fucking rots in that motherfucker. But yeah, talk to me, man. Talk to me.
We got about 2 minutes. You got anything
all right,
else
man.
on your mind there?
No, man. I do appreciate you getting to me. You know, thank you for hearing me out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Paul Pawlak, that's a crazy, crazy situation there in our city, man, that went on. You know what I mean? I hope it makes people more aware. You know what I mean? That's one thing I do hope it does, is bring awareness, honestly, you know, to situations with people, their children, you know, watch out for them now, especially with like the whole digital day and age.
Yep.
It's really, really bad, man. I mean, just appreciate you taking the time to talk to me.
For the folks listening, even if they say they're going to take them to church, you still need to not trust them. Just because they say church doesn't mean they're good. You know? And the thing is that ruins it for all the other people who actually don't do things like that. You know what I mean?
That have the right intention.
Right.
Exactly.
Yep. It makes them look bad. Exactly. So, but hey, you know, hopefully someone watches this and they've known Paul and they come out as well. You know what I mean? So, you know, if you know anybody, Robert, that's had any run-ins in with him, hey, let me know. You know?
Hey, no doubt about it, man. If I run into anybody that remembers those days, man, I'll link y'all up. Don't worry about it.
All right. Well, Robert,
Those
thanks
are some crazy days, man. Thank you again.
Yep. Just stay on the line for a second, Robert. Okay. Let me end the show.
All right. Yeah, no problem.
I want to thank everybody for watching. I want to thank Robert for coming on and telling us about his time there at Paul's House of Horrors. I call him sex perverts for Jesus is what he is, basically.
He absolutely is. Sex pervert for Jesus. Yes, sir.
So for the Hammer Podcast, I'm Jason. You take care of yourself. You take care of each other. We'll see you in the next podcast.